This video is about the book of Song of Songs. It's probably one of the most paid attention to books in the Old Testament. When I did significant study on this over the last week, I was overwhelmed with the amount of material, journal articles written on this book, and also alarmed on the amount of views on this book of Song of Songs or Song of Solomon. The Song of Songs introduction goes like this. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, and that can also be translated the best of songs, which is Solomon's. This can mean that Solomon was the author, that this book is dedicated to Solomon, this book is about Solomon. The general view in the church is that this book is a dedication or about Solomon. There are three major views in which many people interpret the book of Song of Songs. The first is the allegorical approach. The allegorical approach has been the most popular view over the life of the history of the Christian church. And it's this view that it's not really love poetry, but there's these hidden imageries of God's love for the church. The problem mainly with that view is that it kind of disregards really what the book is at its very core level, that it is love poetry. Another interpretation is that this is a drama play, and there are 3 acts, and there are 2 scenes per act. And people think that this was actually a Jewish play that people carried out. The most common interpretation nowadays, with current pastors, preachers, scholars, is that this book is actually love poetry because it has all the components of poetry. Something we call terseness or brevity of phrases and sentences. Another thing is parallelism in the book. There's lots of parallelism and there's lots of imagery used as well. I'm going to actually go with what makes the most sense, is that this book is actually love poetry. Well, what does this book teach and what does it apply to our lives? This book primarily teaches that sex, sensuality, love, and passion are gifts by God to be enjoyed in marriage. This book is filled with passion. This book is filled with excitement about intimacy and intimate things. And that's very evident as you read the Song of Songs. As well, it teaches us purity in marriage. The intimacy found in this book is between one man and one woman. So it's heterosexual love. It's not homosexual love, it's heterosexual love, and it's monogamous, meaning that the lovers, the male and female lovers, the husband and wife here, bride and groom, have only love for each other. They're not looking at all the other girls and guys around them and infatuated with all of them or many. They're infatuated only with one person, their spouse, their bride, their groom. Song of Songs 2 verse 2. A lily among the brambles, so is my love among the young women. As well, on the flip side, the woman only has eyes for the man. She says, my beloved is radiant and ruddy, distinguished among 10,000. And it says that in Song of Songs 5 verse 10. And in Songs of Songs 2 verse 3, she says, as an apple tree among the trees of the forest, so is my beloved among the young men. As well, this Song of Songs, teaches us that we are not to arouse love at the wrong time. Meaning, if we're too young to marry, we should not be arousing this love. And as well, this book points us to God's love through Jesus Christ to the church. Well, how does this kind of all apply to our life? I've entitled this video, The Dangers and Delights of Sex in the Song of Songs. First, this book calls us to sexual purity. The intimacy in this book is between one man and one woman forever in marriage. But our culture, specifically the North American culture, if you're to say anything like that, They call you a bigot because you're discriminatory, yet they're discriminating against you. They can't see past their own anger at you because of this view. But the intimacy here is between one man, one woman. And as Christian, you're to be a holy man in the Lord. You're to be a holy woman in the Lord. As well, we are called not to awaken love at the early times. And here I'm going to say something that some of you might think is I might be a freak show or a freak of nature, is that you really shouldn't be dating unless you're ready to be married. You shouldn't be awaking those passions and those desires until you're ready to enter into a marriage union. Now, I know that goes against everything that our culture says. Counselors in high school say you need to sexually experiment. You need to test the waters, even with same-sex individuals, same-sex relationships. You need to test the waters and experiment and enjoy your sexuality. I can't think of something that's more dangerous to say to young people than that, and more dishonoring to our Lord, and more destructive for your lives down the road. Finally, the one thing I wanted to say about this book is that this book points us to God's love for the church, and specifically Christ's death for us on our behalf, and that expresses his love for us. If you want to know true love, you have to look to Jesus Christ. In fact, you can't even define love apart from Jesus Christ. And so look to Jesus, his death on the cross. Ephesians 5 verse 22 says, "Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Anyways, thanks for watching.